This video will summarize what we've learned in the last several videos on TDO Clinical. Here you can see the way that many endodontists actually work. They're working with their loops, then they bring the microscope out, back and forth. This is an extremely inefficient way to work. And even if they do everything under the scope, they're moving the scope, making the assistant almost impossible to assist using the assistant scope. It's not necessary to work like this. It's extremely inefficient, and all it takes is a few simple discipline skills to learn how to avoid working like this. This is not the way to use a microscope. Many times I've seen doctors do this. This is even worse, reaching for instruments, using their cart as a shelf for other instruments. This is the way that we work in our office. You move the patient instead of the microscope. You keep your elbows right on your stool arms. Same for the assistant, and you minimize the motions, doing almost everything with class 1, class 2 motions. There you can see you can go to the strop go very, very easily, very efficiently. So the first thing to realize is that the usual problem is the chair. You need a chair that can rotate very, very easily. The second problem is the nature of the headrest on these chairs. And the headrest is an impediment to actually using a microscope well, because you cannot get close enough to the patient. The patient's head has to essentially be in your lap. And most chair headrests don't allow you really to get the patient's head where it should be. So the thing to do, take the headrest off, put a Tempur-Pedic pillow in the place, and you'll find that all patients can be very, very comfortable. If there's still space there, put 2 pillows in. And even basketball players, very tall people, can be very, very comfortable with this solution to the problem. The Tempur-Pedic pillow supplies support to the neck and allows really the ideal positioning for every patient. The positioning for 95% of the cases is the same, no matter whether you're doing uppers or lowers. And the position is basically the Trendelenburg position. You get comfortable, you bring your armrests in, you let your assistant get comfortable, and now you're both ready to work ergonomically. The cart is a critical component of working ergonomically. We'll cover this on TDO Chat and Clinical about why the cart is configured exactly this way, but it's very, very critical to have a properly organized cart. You'll need triple strop goes to do this, and we'll cover the reasons for that on TDO Clinical. Here you can see with the proper position of the cart how easy it is to reach for a device on the cart, put it back, and never really have to look up from the microscope. The ability to move this cart easily is important. There you can see in a case presentation, even something as simple as talking to the patient directly, face to face, instead of from the side, is dependent on your ability to move the cart out of the way easily and quickly, instead of having it constrained by cabinets in the operatory. So the big picture is, instead of working in an unhealthy way, here you can see the doctor is having trouble with his arm and his shoulder because he can't rest his arms. It's very simple. You just turn the patient's head and you can keep your arm right on the cart. Even something as simple as bending a file can be done without moving the microscope, just simply doing everything under the scope efficiently, competently under higher magnification. So there's a whole series of skills that are required to work this way, but once they are mastered, you can really just focus on your work and not worry about it moving the microscope or moving yourself. Obviously, we've covered the assistant skills that are necessary to do this, to have your assistant comfortable at all times. Here you can see moving the cart easily. I can go to my strap goes now very, very efficiently. So I hope these have helped you understand how it is we work, and when we cover more complicated things on TDO Clinical, you'll have a better understanding of how we're actually doing this under the scope, and why all these particular things about the chair, the cart, the doctor stools, the assistant stools, and all the ergonomic constraints that are necessary to be in place if you want to work like this.